Jesus Franco's Count Dracula 1970. This movie was a Spanish, German, Italian, British production, which means it probably was very confusing to write and make since people were speaking different languages. Maybe a lot of them were bilingual though. I mean, this film did have 7 writers, which is the most writers a Jesus Franco film has had so far in my videos. Usually it was just like 4 writers. So we see Jonathan Harkes, played by Fred Williams, come to Count Dracula's castle, and we hear annoyingly fake sounding wolf howl. That sounds more like a cow dying than a wolf. So it goes to Dracula's actual castle. I guess Dracula has 2 castles. Jesus Franco was very good at finding settings for his film because his film didn't have a high enough budget to build these buildings. And we hear a fake sounding creak from the door. That's the main problem with this film. These sound effects are terrible, and they don't make me scared, they make me laugh. We see Christopher Lee as Dracula. This isn't the first time he played Dracula. The first time was in the first colored film in 1958. So this is the second time Christopher Lee played Dracula. Wow, look at all the stunts that Fred Williams had to do in this film. I mean, he's only been acting for 8 years at this point, so these stunts are very impressive. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Klaus Kingsley. Christopher Lee hated working with Klaus Kingsley. Christopher Lee said that Klaus Kinsley's insane outbursts were shameful because he should have just been playing insane characters on film and not being an insane character in real life, which he also was, because he was always incredibly hard to work with and abusive. Also, what's that in this film is a doctor and a psychiatrist. A doctor giving blood to Dracula by using blood bags, a psychiatrist to help them deal with the fact that Dracula is a real thing that exists. So Dracula starts biting the woman, and he's very good at acting comforting and frightening at the same time. He's very manipulative in this scene. Another thing added to R.M. Refield's character is that he likes to eat flies like a bat. We see a very impressive dummy of Klaus Kingsley when he falls out to escape from his cell. We see the woman that Dracula bit turn to a vampire, and the teeth effects are done really well. Also, the sound of the stake piercing her is probably the best sound in this film because it's not overly done. To turn the woman back from being a vampire, Klaus Kingsley probably does his favorite part of being in this movie, choking a woman. Another thing that either makes this movie ridiculous or scary, depending on how you are, is how they try to make these animal corpse statues be scary. I don't know, you're gonna think it's really silly or really scary. We see them push off surprisingly realistic fake rocks to scare away people with torches. Even though I think that shot is reused, it still looks pretty good. So the movie ends with them scaring away the mob and killing the vampire woman. So that's Count Dracula. This movie was more focused and not a mess, not as much of a mess as you would think, with it being written by 4 different countries, like 4 different people from 4 different countries, and having 7 different writers. It was actually a very cohesive film, and the biggest problem was the sound effects being too goofy. Otherwise, this is a pretty good movie.